Hey everybody, how's it going? Circus here. I just wanted to do a little disclaimer before this video because Ryi and I recorded it the night the ban list came out. Okay, so we recorded it and like 3 hours later, the ban list came out and I was in bed. I didn't know about it till the next morning, but a lot of the stuff you're gonna see in this video, we're referring to, Shiranui, the ban list, what's gonna happen. The ban list came out. We've seen in tournaments, not a lot has affected Shiranui, so but I think some of the points that we're making in there still stand, and we stand behind them, and we really believe in the build path that we're talking about in this video. So you're going to see us referring to the upcoming ban list a lot. You know, it just turned out to be out 3 hours later, which is kind of funny. So I hope you enjoy the video. Just keep that in mind as you watch it. So, yeah. Hey everybody, what's up? Circus here, and we're coming at you today with what might have been a controversial video just a month ago, but I think now is the time. What do you think, Ryi?
I think we're good. You can bring it out.
All right. So this is a video for new players, and what's the best way to start your account? What's the best deck to get into? And I'd say just a couple weeks ago, even a month ago, people would have said wholeheartedly Shiranui. If you get anything else, you're crazy, right?
Pretty much the whole concept was when you start the game, you get Shiranui. You use Shiranui to get your staples, everything like that, and you're good to go. That was pretty much the consensus because it was such a cheap deck, and it pretty much got everything started for you.
Yeah, you could use it to play on the ladder. You could play in tournaments with it. You could farm the events. You could auto duel with it. Everything, right? But now it's getting to that point where I can't wholeheartedly make that recommendation anymore because if you're new to the game, you might not realize there's a little thing called the ban list. And every so often, Konami likes to issue a ban list for a couple different reasons. One is just to kind of reset the meta, and the other would be to maybe nerf a card that maybe is a little too overpowered.
Yeah, the ban list is, definitely something that's on everyone's mind right now. Cards that are going to get hit by the ban list are cards that you see in like the competitive meta a lot. So when you look at tournaments, when you look at KC Cup, anything like that, those are the decks that have the highest chance of actually getting hit, which Shiranui has been around for a very, very long time. The other thing kind of keep in mind about Shiranui is free-to-play Shiranui versus competitive Shiranui are like completely different decks. There's like 10 different cards between the two.
Right.
So the competitive Shiranui is a fantastic deck, but the back row that you have to go get for it is incredibly expensive and not free to play friendly whatsoever. And that's kind of why I've never really recommended Shiranui to like a brand new person. I always tell them go get for staples first. That's the way to do it.
And in case you're not familiar with Shiranui, it's been at the top of the tier list, the power rankings for months now on end as one of the most played decks in dueling. So I think we are definitely going to see another hit. It's been hit once, as you can see down here. Shiranui Squire is limited to 3. And then let's see, the Spectral Sword is limited to 2. So Ryi, you want to explain how that works?
Yeah, so in Duel Links, it's a little different from kind of real life TCG Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not saying that you can use 3 and 2. What it's saying is if you use 3 Squire, you can't use anything else that's on the limit 3 list. So a very important card on there is Cosmic Cyclone. So this is actually one of the newer nerfs that they received. And them not being able to use Cosmic Cyclone makes them more susceptible to heavy back row and heavy back row kind of disruption. For example, Dark Magician has a circle, and they just start ruining your day. And if you don't have access to Cosmic Cyclone, you're going to have lesser options to kind of deal with that. Typhoon, Twister, all these like not really great options compared to Cosmic Cyclone. And then same thing with the Limit 2 list. Anything on the Limit 2 list, you can only play 2 of those cards in total. So no Econ, no Treacherous Trap Hole, anything like that. Back in the day when you could play Econ in this deck, it was amazing. You could Econ take. You didn't have to get basically you didn't have to get Ballista Squad because you had Econ. And Ballista Squad also wasn't a card back then. But basically what Ballista Squad does now, which is a staple in Shiranui, you have to go into a mini box to go get it, is what Econ basically used to do for the deck.
Now, someone might say, well, why don't you just run like 2 Squire and 1 Cosmic Cyclone, or run 1 Spectral Sword and 1 Econ?
Yeah, no, valid point. When you really don't, so The solitaire, or I'm sorry, the squire rather, is what we call a starter, right? You want to see it in your opening hand, not necessarily later in the duel. You want to see it turn one. You want to open it, and if you get multiple copies of it, it's usually fine because you have follow-up plays to do with it. So you play it at 3 copies to increase the consistency of your deck because you want to see it as much as possible. Sure, you'll probably never play all 3 of them, but you're not playing it at 3 to see all 3 of them. You're playing it at 3 so you can see at least 1 in your opening hand. That's the whole point of doing that. So you definitely don't want to play 2. And then if you play 1 cosmic, chances are you won't grab that cosmic when you need that cosmic, especially against the Dark Magician matchup, which is like the worst one for the deck right now.
Okay, so that's kind of how the ban list works. And what we're concerned about is very soon there's going to be a ban list coming out, and there's a pretty good chance, because this is the number 1 deck being played right now, or the most played deck right now, is Konami's going to hit it, and we don't know how hard. They've hit decks in the past where they're completely unplayable. Sometimes they give them a tap on the wrist. Sometimes they completely nuke them. We don't know what's going to happen to this deck.
We really don't. You know, we saw Dark Lords. They got 2 of their core cards, Ixchel and Contact cards. They used to play at 3. Both of those got limited to 2, which is absolutely, it's awful because you can only play 1 and 1 of, and you need to play Ixchel at 3. So we could easily be in a situation where they put another core Shiranui card at 2. And then the deck, literally, you only have 1 synchro. So it's like, well, if they take care of that, that's it. It's over. Or they could just be a light hit like Sun Saga to 1, and the deck's still playable at that point, just, a little bit less powerful than it used to be.
Sun Saga being their boss monster, so that's not
they're big level 10, yeah. And, right now, they don't have a limit 1. There's also a limit 1 on the ban list, which means out of all of them, you can only get the 1 of 1. And if Sun Saga's at 1, that's the only thing they can play. They can only play 1 of that synchro. I think that'd be the most fair nerf, but it's Konami, so who knows what they're going to do.
You don't know, right? So I guess the point we're making is there's a very good chance this deck's going to get hit. So if you're a new player, you come in, you watch a video, you go to a website or something, and they're like, go ahead, get Shiranui. It's the best deck in the game for new people. And then tomorrow, a month from now, we don't know when, 'cause it's always a surprise, the ban list comes out, and your deck is now irrelevant, and you don't have any cards to play the game with. And that's always the biggest concern.
Very true. So I think kind of what we said this in a previous video, staples first, and staples will never go out of fashion. So this is kind of why the deck choices that we built here kind of follow that ideology.
All right, so our idea is you go after your staples. We got a couple of videos for that, so make sure to check those out. Staples, spells and traps, synchros, and deck engines. So to help you get those, we were thinking when you start a new account, you're going to get about 3,500 gems, and then I farmed a little bit more, so we're at 5,100 now. And then you also get dream tickets. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the dream tickets, they allow you to get anything off a certain list of URs and SRs. So these are very precious, and you don't want to waste them. So we were talking about what the best way to use these URs would be, so that you don't waste them, and then you kind of get what you need right away.
Yeah, it's also critical to remember that right now there are 2 available UR dream tickets right off the gate for a new player. That's not always the case. Usually it's 1 available. It depends on when you're starting the game and what events are currently running. So even if you already have an account, let's say you're a free-to-play player, you already have an account, it's not a bad idea to have a backup account with these dream tickets available in case Shiranui gets that nerf.
Right. So if you're not familiar with the dream tickets, they're the ones with the blue eyes, white dragon head on them. And you get 2 URs and 2 SRs. Okay, so after much discussion, we've decided the best way to spend your UR dream ticket would be what?
On Floodgate Trap Hole. So Floodgate's interesting because the best time to get this card is when we get the half off gem sale. You get a pack for 25 gems versus 50 gems. However, those are so kind of far in between, and they never really give you, they don't tell you that it's going to happen, that you can't count on that happening. And being able to get 2 of these, most decks only play 2, very rarely play 3. On the dream ticket, it lets you just bypass getting anything else in this box, because this box is not very good. It's very terrible, actually. So
we can take a look at the box real quick. There's just nothing in it. Generation Next, it came out.
Nothing. Yeah, there's like small things here and there for like smaller deck. But overall, like you wouldn't use this on a new account. Like none of these cards,
I
other than
can't
Fulgate
even
Trap Hole.
see. I guess you got Fusion Recycling Plant. That's a very niche
Yeah, like
card.
yeah, there's like a lot of
Maybe
niche cards.
a
You know,
Typhoon or
sometimes
something. But
yeah, there's some
oh,
fusion stuff in there. Master the Swamps in there.
Bacon
Your one up
Saver.
bacon. Yeah, like it's just not worth spending gems on this thing unless it's the 25 gem thing. And even then, even with the 25 gem sale, I would tell people go get Sphere Karibo. Because
Right.
you can get Fusion Gate out of that, and that's really a box you don't want to go into because it's just Fusion Gate,
Right.
Sphere Karibo, and then some other minor things like Twister, I think, is in there or something.
All right, so we're gonna obtain 2 of these. We're starting our new account here. We're new players, and we're gonna get 2 of these because it's the most economical way to get them.
It just makes the most sense if there's no sale going on.
All right, because this is on our staples list. This is a very important card to have, and you want to explain why, Rye?
Yeah, it comes in and out of the meta. It kind of is sharing a place with Canadia and now Fiendish Chain. The problem is Fiendish Chain is not actually released into the game yet, so you can't really balance around Fiendish Chain when you're a new player. It's also just not available for sale right now at all. Is the other thing. Like you got to wait until I think probably the KC tournament, the World Tournament, is when it's going to come back as a selection item. So it's going to be super expensive. So this is a pretty good kind of card in between. It is right now kind of falling out of the meta, but it'll always jump back in. It's a card that's always jumping back in, switching places with Canadia, especially with XEs coming out very soon. Yeah, it's going to be an amazing card. So definitely worthy of your Dream UR ticket.
It's always Floodgate or Canadia. Some decks run both, but yeah, like you said, sometimes it's Canadia's hot, sometimes Floodgate's hot. It depends on the meta.
Yeah.
So switching to the SR Dream ticket, I always strongly recommend Wall of Disruption. I know it's a bit of a cheese card, but it fits into everything, especially when you're a new player. When you're a new player.
Same thing. I say Wall of Disruption or Treacherous Trap Hole. Depends on what deck you ultimately want. Definitely a 1 copy of TTH isn't the end of the world. But usually when you have a newer deck, you're going to be running a lot more traps, your Floodgates, Canadias. So Wall of D is going to be better up front. TTH, you're eventually going to get a copy anyway. Probably it's in a decent size. I think it's in the is it Spellbooks? Is that
they're both mini boxes and they're both SR, so they're very easy to get. I mean, it's not such a big deal. So don't stress out over that one. And then what we thought the best purchase. This is why you're here, right? Not just the Dream tickets. What's the best purchase here? We're gonna do what people tell you never to do. We're gonna buy structure decks, and we'll show you why. This Hero Generation for 500 gems. Check this out. You're gonna get yourself a Mask Change. That's huge, and you're gonna get yourself which one? Koga's in this one. That's huge, and then you're gonna get Favorite Hero. Okay, for 500 gems, that's a pretty good deal, and you're gonna get
World Legacy Clash.
In a World Legacy Clash, yeah.
Hey, it's pretty good.
Right, so you can take that, get it for 500 gems. That's pretty good, and then I'm gonna get through this part. Not a bad deal. No. And then we can go down, and there is another structure deck. You guys are like, what? One is not enough. No, it is Destiny Rulers. And in this one, you're going to get your polymerizations, which you can get at the card trader, but you're going to get 2 of them right away, because you might not have the card trader right away when you start a new account, and you have to get to like mission 6 or whatever, stage 6, and then you're gonna get all these heroes here. You're gonna get Bion, you're gonna get Celestial, and you're gonna get Drill Dark, and then you're also gonna get Trinity and Dangerous. So all these things can be summoned very easily with the polymerization. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna build a deck with this, and you can use this deck to farm gems, and you're gonna go in and go after your Canadias now, because we'll show you the box with Canadias.
Canadia is a really, really good box. If you watch the Staples video, I recommend all new players either choose Cosmic Cyclone or Canadia going first. And Canadia first will guarantee that you get to Legend pretty much.
And people are like, Heroes Circus, why'd you do Heroes? That's such an odd choice. This is why. Here's Canadia, however you want to pronounce it. And look what else you get here. Needle Sealing, that's a very relevant
good
card.
Yeah.
But right here, Masked Hero Anki or Anki, however you want to say it. And then down here, you also have Mask Change. So you go in, you get your hero deck, and then you can go right in, you start going after your Canadia, and then you can get your Anki, your mass change, and the hero deck that you already have is going to get enhanced while you're getting your Canadias, and then you can just sit and farm and play PvP with it. Is great. So we're gonna go after Canadia here. Rise my good luck charm.
I believe in you, and it's really good too because it's 2 mass changes, and you're guaranteed 1 from the structure deck. Usually, that's why people say, "Oh, structure decks are bad" or whatever. Not that bad when you're already guaranteeing 1 of the SRs.
Right. So here we go.
Dark World Dealings is an okay niche card. It's not something you want to go after, but it's all right to have.
We take any UR.
Hell yeah.
Oof.
Rough.
Yeah, that's not good. And what?
But hey, we'll get the bad ones out of the way. We're good.
You mentioned there was alternative to this, right? If you don't get anything.
Hey, mass change. There you go.
Second
2 mass changes. Yeah.
Nice. You were talking about if you go through all this and nothing happens, just do a new account.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's only stage 4, and if you don't get a good setup here, you can just restart. It's really not a big deal. Needle Ceiling. Hey, there we go. We're set up. Yeah, and just play those stage 4 again, and you're good to go. You really don't even need to.
It's a time investment. Account, so. It's about 4 days and a few hours and stuff to get all this. But
well, you don't have to like this. You went in with the dream tickets. Like they could do this right away.
Oh,
and then
right.
They could get the dream tickets afterwards. At whatever account you want, you keep it, and then you dream ticket for it.
There you go. It's not happening. It's not happening. We're
not today.
We got 2 more. We got 2 more. Give me some. Looks like we're playing Amazons.
Oof.
Right here. This is it. This is it.
If we get 1 Anki.
No, I got nothing.
No yeah, in this situation, you just re-roll.
You could
get your dream tickets, and you're good. Yeah, this isn't the last 3, dude. I bet. I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, if you got Canadia or Anki, you would have been in a good spot.
And you got to realize you might reset your account 10 times and still not get them. So just keep that in mind too.
Very true.
So why don't we build a deck real quick? All right. So we're going to put that in the extra deck. I'm going to put that.
At least you've got the Koga, so both your mask changes can actually bring out a masked hero.
Yep.
So you have 1 target for that. I think there's some other ones in there, but I don't know if they're even worth playing. You probably won't want to like vapor and all those.
Well, you got to remember where you are on the ladder. The stuff kills.
Yeah, true.
Because I actually tested this out. I actually tested this idea out on another account to make sure it works, and it does. It works very well. The computer can play this deck very well. You can do very well in the lower ranks. I was kind of surprised at how competitive the lower ranks are now. One deck that you might want to talk about a little bit here, Ryi, I saw a lot. Super Heavy Samurai.
Yeah, it's actually, I believe it's all in a mini. So people can go in. I wouldn't even be surprised if they're alternate accounts. You can go in, you can get the whole thing just going into a mini box, and it's so old you can use your Dream SR and UR tickets on it, which I believe it has both. I think the wagon is UR, and then there's a couple of SRs they can get with it. So you can get a full Super Heavy Samurai deck doing this restart method. But that's not going to build into anything. So while the immediate power is definitely higher, you aren't going to have, for example, if you use your SRs, you're not going to have Wall of D. If you use your URs, you're not going to have Floodgates, which will not help any other deck. So let's say, again, we're bring back the ban list. Let's say Konami was looking at the previous Turbo Duel results for whatever reason. They randomly do this sometimes too, where they like nerf Cyberstein or whatever because it's too cheesy. And they say, you know what? Super Heavy Samurai, we don't like that it's being an OTK deck, so we're going to slightly nerf it, but it's a rogue deck, so the slight nerf kills the deck. Let's just say that happens. What are you left with at that point? You're left with a broken deck and nothing else, because there's nothing else you play in that deck. Where in this scenario, let's say they go in and they absolutely trash heroes. Well, you probably have 3 Canadia. And if you do the Dream, you'll get the Floodgates and everything like that, and the Wall of Ds. All those cards can be used. And World Legacy Clash, I keep forgetting, it's such a good card. R card. It's on the limit 2 for a reason. It's very, very powerful card there. All those cards can be used in like anything else that you want to play.
Right.
So that's kind of the key in why you don't want to get something super cheesy like Super Heavy Samurai.
In this deck that you see on the screen, I know a lot of competitive players are bleeding out the eyes right now, but I can explain it real quick. You got the Alias right here. He's a light monster. And then you also have Flash. You have two of them. These are all light monsters, so you can use your mask change to summon out your Koga. So you have 3 targets for Koga. And now these dark monsters, Celestial, Drill Dark, these are the ones you're going to use mask change on once you get your Anki. You get your Anki, you put it in your extra deck. Those are your dark targets right there for your mass change. Right here, Ice Edge. I know he's got a cool secondary effect, but he is a mass change target right here for Vapor. So right there, you can use your mass changes. And then in your extra deck, you have Escarado. I always say it wrong, but it's basically 1 elemental hero monster and 1 dark monster. So you can use any of your elemental heroes plus these dark monsters and go into that. And then you can go into Trinity, which is any 3 hero monsters with your polymerization. And then this is 1 Destiny hero and 1 dark effect monster. So all these monsters work with polymerization and mass change.
Mm-hmm. And just looking at this right here, like the only cards are going to be dropping for like the future with the Drill Dark. The Alias can be used in a Neos deck. Celestial is used in Heroes deck. Vion is used. Flash isn't used, and Vapor isn't used. Everything else that's on the screen right now is used in a competitive meta tier deck. So that's really not that much waste at all.
No, and if you want to spice this deck up, you can go into the card trader. There's a card called what is it? Destiny Decider, or I'm sorry, yeah, Decider Hero. Was it Destiny Hero Decider? You can add that into this deck if you want to go more of the Anki route, which eventually I would do because it's a little bit quicker, a little bit more OTK power. But you could put 3 Ankis in your extra deck. You got your Deciders, you got your Drill Darks, you got your Celestials. You spent no money, and you're going to be at least getting into gold with this. You might even be able to break into platinum, right?
You could easily be platinum with this, I think so.
Yeah.
Just the fact having Wall of D and Floodgate, those 4 cards, you're like guaranteed platinum. It's insane.
Right, and then you're going to start getting Canadias and stuff like that on top of it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, if you get Anki, it's over.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I tried it, and I eventually got my Anki, and as soon as I put that in the extra deck, I started winning so much faster.
Now, this is an example of why I don't really tell newer players to go get Shiranui. Is it an amazing deck? Is it a fun deck? And is it a deck you're going to learn good, like, Duel Links protocol through? Sure. The problem is, it's a mini box. You need to go. You only need the SRs, but you still got to reset for the SRs, right? So you only get 1, and then you reset. So it's totally luck based. You can dream ticket them, but again, you still will probably have to go into this box at least once or twice to get everything that you need, because there's just way too many SRs to get everything you need. 3 of the Squire and at least 2 of the Solitaire. Even if you did free to play version, you still want to strive towards that for the future. If you invest into this box, you get the Shiranui. And then that's pretty much all you'll have. The only staple / good card you'll be using in other decks will be the Raigeki Break. So nothing. Raigeki Break's good, but definitely not good compared to like Canadia or Cosmic Cyclone, the other 2 kind of build paths that I would choose. So while you get immediate Shiranui, which isn't even that strong anymore after it's been nerfed, and to make it strong, you need like really, 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 really good back row. Which is not something you have easy access to. So let's say you did this, and then you went and got the 2 floodgates with the dream tickets, like we said. Your deck would be Shiranui, floodgate, and then however many Raigeki breaks you have, and then you have to fill the rest with like terrible back row that no one will like care.
And I can tell you right now, you're going to probably end up playing this because that's what most people end up playing because it's there.
Yeah, Pyramid of Wonders and stuff, and like Storm and all this stuff. It's really like rough. It's a slower start for Shiranui, and then you'll never get anywhere because to get things like Fiendish Chain and stuff like that, you can't even buy it right now. So you have to wait in order to get it. And you have the threat of the ban list on top of all that. Probably focusing this card down the most.
All right, so we also wanted to show you, because Ryi brought this one up because he's a big fan of another deck type, going after the Cosmic Cyclone first, right? And that, well, we showed that box too. Where's that? That was under. All right, so here is a different build path we were talking about. Ryi is a big fan after going after Cosmic Cyclone. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Floodgate or Cosmic Cyclone as your starting URs are both great. I'm more of a control type player, but if you want to deal with someone's back row, Cosmic Cyclone is a great. choice.
The only reason, like, I'd go the Canadia route versus starting the Floodgate route. So this box that we should talk about first, you get Glad Beasts out of.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going under the rule of only spending 1,000 gems on the structure decks, you can go with the Gladiator Beast structure deck, combine it with the Glads that you get from here, and you'll have a very competent deck. Now, granted, Gladiator Beasts don't have as much mileage as heroes, and you'll definitely be dropping them more like quicker. But Cosmic Cyclone is the best removal card in the game for back row. It
By
banishes.
far.
You pay 1,000 life points. It's really, really good. The problem is it's limit 3. So
Yep.
it is another card that is high. There's a high chance of banless shenanigans happening with it. So its value takes a hit based on that. So we got to keep that in mind. And that's kind of why we decided to go with the heroes first rather than the cosmic.
Right, but let's say you do the hero route, you get your floodgates and you use those to get your Canadias, and you got your 3 Canadias. At that point, I would move on to getting my Cosmic Cyclones because you already have the control aspect using the Canadias and the floodgates. You already have like 5 cards that can control your opponent. Then I would go after the Cosmic Cyclones. And if you have 1,000 gems laying around, go get that structure deck. It doesn't hurt because then you can get that Glad Beast deck plus this, and then there's stuff with tickets that you can use to get more Glad Beasts, and it's just a new deck that you can have for once. You know, you'll probably be tired of heroes, you'll be ready for something new, and you know, if you're just playing in like bronze, silver, and gold and all that, you'll be tearing it up, no problem.
Yeah. If you spend like a solid weekend, you could easily climb to platinum with the hero deck. With the Glad Beast, you'll probably hit gold or something.
Right, but I mean, if you're just farming gems and tickets and stuff,
gems, it's
it is perfect. So. All right, those are our thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys find it helpful. And a lot of people might find this controversial because we're not going Shiranui. We're telling you by structure decks, but I hope that you've stuck through the whole thing and see that why we reason the way we did. And I hope that it helps you start a good account because it's not about getting to King of Games really fast. Because if you try to do that, it might happen, but then, like we were saying, like a month later, you might not have anything, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm going to quit this game because I don't even have a deck I can play." But if you go after your staples, cards that can be used in any deck, no matter what, you're going to be a lot happier because you're going to have your staples, and then you can build any deck you want.
Literally any deck. It's insane the decks that you see that make King of Games, and you look at the common cards, and it's the same: Wall of D's, Treacherous Trap Hole, Cosmic Cyclone, Floodgate, Canadia, Sphere Karibo. They're all in those decks.
Yep, so make sure to check out the other videos where we talk about each card in depth. Those are our staples video that are under our Duel Academy series. So I hope you like it, and if you do, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. And if you ever want to play in a tournament, make sure to join our Discord, and you'll get notifications about our Battle Phase series. It's a really good time. And I guess we'll see you next time. I'm Circus. That's Ryi.
Bye, YouTube.
See ya.